have one of my heroes on today, Jonathan Mast. Boy, he's something else. He has a Facebook group called AI Prompts for Entrepreneurs, and it is amazing. I've been following him for ages. He's got over 300,000 people in his Facebook group, full of outstanding stuff. I want you to email, check out the different classes that he has. They're amazing. I'm going to have the link in this post here for sure so that you have it I'm going to have the link in this podcast so that you have it because it's just too important to ignore. This guy is a genius in my mind on AI prompts and teaches you how to create them yourself. You're going to love this. So stay tuned and check it out for yourself. You'll be a fan too.
Welcome to Real Estate Riches, where Kathy Byrnes empowers realtors to achieve the success they've always dreamed of. Starting her career at 55, Kathy built a thriving business that offers the freedom of time and financial independence. And now she's sharing her journey to help others do the same. Whether new to the industry or looking to level up, this channel is your hub for proven strategies, inspiring stories, and the tools you need to grow your real estate business. Join Kathy each week to explore global opportunities, successful systems, and expert insights to take your career to the next level. Get comfortable, pick a video, and start learning. Your journey to success starts now.
Hey everybody, it's Kathy Byrnes here with Real Estate Riches, and I'm really excited today to have Jonathan Mast on because I am one of his raving fans that follow everything that he does, and I want to share them with you. So, hello, Jonathan.
Hey, Kathy, thanks for having me on.
So, how I first discovered you was the Facebook group AI Prompts for Entrepreneurs. So, I'm on there and I'm thinking, holy cow, this is great stuff, even though it isn't for real estate agents per se. Most real estate agents are entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And what I really learned from you was breaking down the importance of how to design your prompts.
Obviously, the prompting is how we communicate with AI, and you're right. How you say that, how you communicate is really important. It's like any relationship, whether it's your marriage or a friendship or a coworker, communication matters. And while it's not sentient, we still have a relationship of sorts with AI because it's a large language model. It uses natural language processing. So how we say things matters.
How we say things matters. And I was at a networking group this morning, and they were talking about this huge lawsuit that just happened with, I think it's Air Canada, because they had a bot that gave the wrong information. And that was an important message to hear because, you can't just dive into this recklessly. You really need to be paying attention. I'm teaching it once a month. I have a class where I teach agents, real estate agents, because that's my audience, how to just get set up and in ChatGPT to make sure they create their own GPT, pay attention to GPTs like you have and how they can search them out that are already pre-programmed, not always by other people done well, and that's important to pay attention. Pick your people wisely, and even ChatGPT can tell you things like that. And I think one of the most interesting things that I learned from you was to tell it, ask me questions to get to know what my goal is. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's much like Kathy, if we were working on a project together. We often treat AI, and I'll give you an example. Let's say that I'm working on a real estate deal with you. You're helping me buy a new house. And I go, hey, Kathy, go find me a new house. And I turn around and I walk away. And you go, well, Jonathan, I'd be happy to, but I've got a couple questions. I go, no, Kathy, you know me, just figure it out. That's often how we treat AI. We just give it the basics and we're like, well, but why doesn't it know? And then we get a response back. So you come back with a house and guess what? It's not the house that I wanted. It's not on the location I wanted. It's not as many bedrooms and baths as I wanted. It's a different style that I wanted. It's a different price point. And why? Because I didn't give you any information and I wouldn't answer your questions. And so whether it's real estate or whether it's AI, giving context is so important. And I'll be honest, a lot of times, Kathy, I've been writing prompts and I write hundreds a day. So I've got literally tens of thousands of prompts I've written. I still sometimes don't know what information to give it. So the quick and the easy solution isn't to try to figure out all the answers. It's simply to go ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, whatever you're using, ask me any questions that you need. because it generally knows, based on the fact it's a logic model, that it can say, okay, in order to, for example, maybe write a press release, I need the following 6 bits of information. And if I didn't give it all 6, it can go, hey, Jonathan, what about A, B, and C? And I can then answer the questions and I'll get a better response. Much like you as a realtor might say, Jonathan, I'd be happy to find you a house, but let's start. What about what school district, what city, what price point, how many bedrooms and bathrooms? Do you have a style you like? All of that type of information that is going to be relevant just to get us close. And
Mhm.
we need to do that same thing with ChatGPT. But like I said, the easiest way is just end any prompt you have. And we'll talk about the prompt format in a minute. Any prompt, just end it with ask me any questions you have. And then
Yeah.
if you forgot something, the AI model will ask you back and go, well, Kathy, what about this and what about that?
That I feel like it is my coach or my buddy because we're basically bantering back and forth, which called that stacking in a sense. And
Mm-hmm.
I love it. When I teach it, I can feel when I teach it to a class, I said, treat it like it's a cohort, where you're
Yes.
you're figuring things out together. You stay in that feed and you just keep figuring it out.
Yeah, 100%. And that that part reminds me how important it is to have a conversation. Kathy, when we're working on getting any answer to anything, it's not like a slot machine that we walk up to and we pull it once and we go, give me the right answer, give me the right answer,
Yeah.
give me the right answer. We typically, if we're working with a coworker, maybe as a realtor, maybe we're working with an appraiser or an inspector on a home. Imagine we're working with an inspector and the inspector comes back with information that we don't like. We're not likely to just go, okay, and not ask the inspector any questions. We're much more likely to come back and say, okay, I've got a few questions based upon that. You said this and you said this. What about we have a conversation? And we need to do that
Yeah.
with AI as well. Maybe it doesn't come back with everything we wanted, or maybe it came back and made me think, wow, I should ask another follow-up question. Do
Mhm.
that and ask that question and have that follow-up.
Yeah, I totally agree. So you want to kind of give us an outline of a ideal prompt, like the different components?
Absolutely. So many people, as you know, Kathy, they spend their days looking for the perfect prompt. I want the best prompt for every situation. The problem is there isn't, well, there may be a best prompt for every situation. There isn't the best prompt that works for me and that also works for you, Kathy. And so
Mm.
what I teach my students to do is to use what we call the perfect prompt framework. And it's 4 simple steps. And if you answer these 4 aspects of any prompt, you can ask it AI anything you want, and you'll get a good or better response out of that. It's very simple. One, what type of expert? So let's say we're going to want to write maybe, I know something that everybody's probably done in the real estate industry. They've written a real estate listing, but
Yeah.
maybe it hasn't turned out well. Maybe it has. So what about if we say instead, I want to write a social media post about a real estate listing? And so one, you are an expert at writing social media posts about real estate listings. That's it.
Yes.
What type of expert? Two, I need to give it context. So you might say, I've recently listed this amazing ranch built in the 90s, totally renovated recently. It's located in Fresno, California. It's priced slightly below market. It's got all these great features. And I want you to write me a social media post that'll find the perfect buyer. Literally, I'll just say that to my AI. By the way, if you use the transcribe feature on your phone or your computer, you can literally just say it and it'll transcribe all that.
Love
Then I
that.
need to ask it my question. And my question is what most people do, realtors or not, they just go, I need a listing for this. So I need now a social media post to promote this new listing of mine. And then, as I said, we end it very simply with ask me any questions you have. So the whole
Yes.
prompt is you're an expert at writing social media posts to promote real estate listings. I have a new listing. Here's all the details. Write me that social media post and ask me any questions you have. And all of a sudden, you're going to get an amazing response back. You didn't need to search for the right prompt. You didn't need to go render a book or find a book that had it. You literally were able to go in and just explain that through those 4 steps and get a great response back.
Yeah. I freaking love it. It's because I bought all your prompts. You had
That PDF prompt list, yeah.
I bought them
Which,
all.
by
And
the way, I didn't want to do, but the community's like, please, please, because I don't recommend looking through, but it's good for learning because you can read about 400, 500 prompts. You can read through that and go, oh, I'm seeing some patterns, and most of
yes.
all those are written following that same perfect prompt framework. So yeah,
Yeah, it was great. For me, it was overwhelming. And I'm like, I was highlighting and I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to go back to basics and follow that. However, like you said, I went through many of them. I was giving them to different people that were friends of mine in different businesses. I said,
Sure.
here's some ideas. Because that's another topic I want to get on. Agents are not recognizing the reality of where AI is in our world and how it
hmm
needs to be, not just maybe, but it needs to be in their business. Don't you agree?
Well, absolutely, because even if the real estate agent doesn't want it there, what you aren't necessarily understanding is that if not today, then tomorrow or the next day, your customers, the people you're serving, your buyers and your listing people that are sellers, buyers and sellers, here we go, I can't remember my terms, but your buyers and sellers, they're going to be expecting that you're using AI to help them buy or sell and get the best price out of it. When I
Yes.
see a house, I'm driving around, maybe, I know it's the way my wife and I do it. Whenever we decide we're going to move, which is too often, we'll drive around the community and we'll identify some houses. And we'll often call our realtor and say, hey, here's three or four that we'd really like to go see. That may happen at 10 o'clock at night because I don't always remember to call during the day or I'm busy and things are happening. And I don't expect the realtor to take that call, but in time, I am going to be at the point where I'm going to expect that that real estate agent now has AI working for them, that it can do that. It can reach out to the listing agent. It can go ahead and confirm that. And likely before I wake up in the morning, or maybe even before I go out, assuming the listing agent has the right tools, it'll already have a schedule put together for me of going to look at those homes. And
Yes.
as a realtor, imagine the fact that you don't have to then call four other listing agents. You don't have to go through all that process. Imagine if your AI bot could literally reach out, connect with them, get the appointment, find out when it's open, get whatever information is needed to show that home, and then put together a schedule to see all of those while also looking at a map and going, okay, it's going to take us 20 minutes to drive between these two houses. These are 5 minutes apart. I know what Jonathan's availability is. So based upon that, here's the best way for us to show these houses. And imagine all of that being done in literally minutes with AI. We can do that today. Customers may not expect it today, but by the end of the year, Kathy, they're going to be expecting that.
Yes, yes. People think that I'm nuts in my industry because I'm like shaking them. Come on, wake up. This is big. And I've been doing it now for 2.5 years, which is not forever, but I know that I'm up here compared to my peers, and yet I'm still really low compared to all my knowledge because it changes so rapidly.
It
Um,
does.
I even set up a task in ChatGPT when task came out, and I said, on this platform, whenever there is any change, I want you to tell me about it immediately and then explain it to me how to do it as if I'm a fifth grader. And
What a
so
great task.
and it's at 6 o'clock in the morning. So that's when I wake up at 5:30, hit the alarm till 6. So I'm in there and I'm looking at this stuff and I like, okay, nothing today. Okay, fine. Okay, something new's coming on. I want to know the details because I want to incorporate that into my next training.
hmm
Or ideally, I'm going to put it into my life right off the bat.
Absolutely, 100%. No, absolutely. And I commend you on embracing it because there are those that think it's going to go away. It is not. It's not
Ever.
going away. And whether you want to be part of it as a real estate agent or not really doesn't matter because your clients are going to begin expecting you to be there. The clients that are listing with you, the sellers are going to expect that you have access to the best tools and the best knowledge on how to write that listing in a way that's going to get the perfect buyer. It's going to pay the maximum price. If you're a
Right.
buyer, they're going to expect you to have the tools in place not only to do the type of collaboration we talked about, but to help understand the market dynamics and negotiate the best pricing. It doesn't take
Yes.
you as the realtor out of the picture, but it amplifies your skill and experience.
Yes. Well, and tools are being developed, just like you mentioned, that whole process. Tools are being developed on steroids right now. Who's the AI is a marvelous one for realtors that I subscribe to. It has the CRM all tied into my own CRM, which is KV Core. And so I can talk in, just like you
hmm
said, I just left my clients and say, I was on a listing appointment and at 123 Jones Street and Mary and Bill are the listing people. Here's their last name. They've got two kids. They name off the kids, they name off the dogs.
Yep.
All of that goes into the CRM so they're done and say, I have an appointment with them next Wednesday at 11:30. Make sure that I have that. I need to have all the listing paperwork ready for signature. Get that all together. Boom, boom, boom. This is where it's happening for efficiency And if that's me and the other agent isn't doing that, the time that's wasted, that's the other big component here, is the
Hmm.
time savings.
Exactly. And that's really the key is if it allows you to get more done in less time, one of two things can happen. Either you make more money because you're able to do more things, or you have more time. And I know both can be incredibly important. And of course, there's that hybrid, which is in the middle. I can get more done and I can have more time. And that's just a win for everybody.
Yes, yes. One of the things that I did when Grok came out with the deep research, I was getting ready to do a listing in an area that's not my territory normally. So I went into Grok and I said, here's the neighborhood. I did tell it who it was because I wanted it to understand because I wasn't familiar with Grok, so I felt I needed to give it some information. So I said, you're an expert in this particular area, in this area of Charlotte, and you know all the aspects. I need to know all about this community. What makes it so hot? What are the going price per square foot in here? What's the best street within the neighborhood? And what's around there that people just seem to love? And it gave me a report that was amazing. I
Hmm.
know they're a little back and forth, but amazing. And I was able to present that to my million plus seller who was
Yep.
blown away with what I had. And then I got that listing. Then now I utilized it to help me comp the property because it was an area I didn't know. The houses were kind of like waterfront, which I do up at the lake. I'm 40 minutes
Hmm.
from where that property is. And waterfront properties are all different price points because there's so many variables to them. That's how this community was. So it helped me by me uploading MLS sheets so that it could
Hmm.
read all the MLS sheets, help me analyze it, and narrow it down based as an appraiser. And I said, I
Yeah.
want you to act as an appraiser who specializes in North Carolina, especially the Charlotte metro area. And so I told it who it was, fed it resources, and
Hmm.
then we bantered back and forth because I could see it wasn't picking something up. And I said, you're not going at a true appraiser, narrow it down by different components per room and
So
blah, blah,
important.
blah. And what it gave me was incredible, which I validated. And just to make sure that we were on the right course. And then I presented that with the whole sheet that it typed up for me to present to my client. So I knew that if I was in competition, I'm blowing anybody out because nobody's doing it.
Well, and the key there that you talked about, Kathy, I think so many people miss is you're using it to amplify your skill and experience. You didn't just take the first response ChatGPT came back with and go, oh, that's great, I'm going to run with it. You read it, you said, okay, this is good, but you're missing this, as you mentioned, or you're not doing
Mhm.
this, and you're therefore improving it. Again, it's like working with a coworker or an assistant that you have that, again, doesn't always come back with the perfect information. You need to remind them occasionally what it is, but it still saves you a tremendous amount of time. Just
Yes.
because of the fact that I need to collaborate with it doesn't mean that AI is not still saving me hours a day. And that's, I think, a really important thing for people to remember.
Yes. Well, I know we're going to keep our time limited, but I wanted to make sure that whatever you feel that for realtors that you've got a nugget to share, I'd love to hear it.
I think more than anything else, I want to encourage them knowing that, realtors and technology don't always go hand in hand. And that's nothing against any realtors that I know, but that's just the nature of things. AI is one of those things that I really want to encourage you to embrace. And here's the challenge I have for every one of you as a real estate agent. Don't try to do everything today. And don't think that we need to stop by just helping us write better listings. It can do so much more than that. And I want to encourage you that every day, find one thing that you do that you could use AI to help you with, not necessarily to do it all for you. Maybe it's an email where you've got to tell the client for the 17th time, depending on the market you're in, that the offer that you made didn't get accepted because you got beat out by somebody else. I was just talking to my agent the other day and he was sharing with me the story in the market that he's in. Literally, sometimes he's doing 17, 20 homes making offers and not getting them. That's not a fun email to have to write, especially for the 26th time. So use ChatGPT to help you in that process, to help figure out the best way to do it. And also maybe to analyze the offers and the winning offers and figure out for the 27th house, what could we do that might win, that might bring us ahead of that, because
Yeah.
you don't want to analyze 26 different offers and then analyze the ones that won and figure all that out, because let's face it, there's not enough time in the day. But you
Right.
can give all of that to AI and have it analyze all those offers and say, what trends are we seeing based upon this community? What things are we seeing at this price point? What can we do in order to improve our offers in a way that adds value to the seller, but maybe doesn't cost my buyer hard dollars out of pocket? And
Yeah.
come up with some unique ways to win some of those opportunities. There's a lot more, and I know every market's different, but those are just a couple things. Again, one thing a day. Just find one thing. And if you do that for 30 days, all of a sudden you'll develop what we call an AI first mentality, which is
Mhm.
before you go, oh, I've got to do this, you'll go, oh, I can use AI to help me do this.
Yeah, that's how I live that way. I just love it. Love, love, love it. And I'm a big fan. So I appreciate you
Thank
being
you.
on here. And I just wanted to say to our guests, I'm going to have Jonathan's information. You'll be able to find his Facebook group. I highly recommend that you follow him. And he sells different programs very reasonably priced to help level you up in different ways. And I encourage you again, reach out to him because he's amazing.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you. So thanks for joining me on this episode of Real Estate Riches. Wasn't that great? I'm sure you got a nugget or two. I know I did. So if you liked it, please subscribe below, share it with everybody, make some comments. We really find that invaluable. And if you're thinking that you would love to talk about this a little bit more, let's schedule a business strategy call. I'll have the link below. Let's see if we can't mastermind together and see if we can empower each other. That would be great. So until next time, signing off. Hope to see you on the next one.